Hi there, I am Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make Costa Mesa such a great place to live. Today I have Thea with me, and we are talking about Eco Now, which is based. They have a location here in Costa Mesa, and they have other ones as well. And Thea, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about all things Costa Mesa. Love.
Awesome, awesome. Well, why don't you go ahead and start off telling everybody a little bit about your shop, where you're located, what you guys do.
Yeah. So I'm Thea. I'm the owner of Eco Now. I started my company in 2018 and we focus on eco-friendly living. So you can bring your own containers to refill with us in our stores. It's all to help people practice a more sustainable lifestyle within their home. But another branch of our business is it's a non-toxic store. So we supply all organic ingredients for shampoos, conditioners, laundry soaps, all sorts of home and body products. So it's just a win-win where you can simplify your home routine by refilling with us and then also reduce plastics in your home. We all know how big of an issue plastics are. And so we are a resource for our community in that regard.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of news about the plastics and everything out there right now. So being on the, forefront of that is really great. Where else do you guys have locations right now?
Yeah, so originally my first location was in Costa Mesa at the Lab Anti Mall. In 2019 we opened, and then we opened a store in Anaheim, and we have a location now in Laguna Beach and Garden Grove, and we're also opening a new store in Riverside we just got the date of March 29th as the soft opening, so that's going to be really exciting too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you guys are all over, taking over Southern California. I love it.
Yeah, it definitely is important. When I started the business, I wanted to make it accessible. I think one of the big things about zero waste and sustainable living is a lot of people say, I wish it was closer to me, or, I would do this if it were closer to me. And I kind of put people in their place when we started opening these stores because we're like, nah, now it's closer to you. You're going to do it or not? So make it a little bit more accessible for people.
Yeah, that's so great. And so, what is your background? What made you passionate about doing this?
Yeah, so I've been living like an eco-conscious lifestyle for quite some time. I remember growing up when I was really young, I was confused about waste and trash, and I didn't understand the concept of waste haulers and where it would go. And then I remember about 15 years ago, I did a simple Google search, and I found out that there's these trash islands in our ocean. And I was appalled, astonished, and I was like, I can't be a part of this. So I just started practicing really diligently, bringing my own utensils with me, saying no to plastic when I went to restaurants, going to the bulk section of grocery stores, and riding my bike everywhere. I sold my car. I just got really, really into it. And a lot of people in my school and my workplace would always ask me, they would say, where do you learn how to do this? Or I want to do something like this. Where do I go to practice things like this or learn things? And I had a bit of an aha moment about 7 years ago in the shower of all places. I was like, what if I made a place where people could come to that they could practice this lifestyle? They seems like people are really into it. And I got out of the shower. I went to my boyfriend, my now husband, and I was like, I have this idea. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to open a big store. And he was like, well, why don't you start going to farmer markets? And so I actually started my business by going to local farmer markets in Orange County and bringing my handmade products, like reusable towels and reusable fabric, napkins and cutlery sets and things like that, just to see if the interest was there. And the interest was there. And I knew right away, there's a demand for this. So it was definitely just a progression through years of being very conscious lifestyle, wanting to be a part of it myself, and then realizing that I wanted to support other people in it too.
That's great. So is your husband part of the business too then? Do you guys work together, own the companies together?
Yeah, so I started it originally, but he was always there. He was actually the person to suggest that I that I should reach out to the lab in Costa Mesa and open a store there. So it was his idea. But we started making it official. Him working at the company about I want to say 3 years ago. I think it's 3 years this April.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually that's a really good pivot point. So obviously you're in Costa Mesa, or we're talking about Costa Mesa a bit here. So what made him suggest the lab, and how do you feel like the location was a fitting spot for you to open in?
Yeah. So my husband was working in Costa Mesa at the time that I was starting to do these farmer markets. And he brought me to the lab. And I remember walking around going, wow, this place is really cool. Like, I should probably go home and change my outfit. It was like, it's such a hip area. And it's so true, because with sustainability, a lot of people like think outside of the box. And I think a lot of artists too. And so I think the lab makes sense for our kind of a business, because it's definitely not run of the mill. Refilling products and practicing like a sustainable lifestyle it takes a certain type of person and a certain type of thought process. And that area, the lab and the camp, is definitely attracting people that are thinking outside of the box, that want to support small business, that are really into art and fashion and just whatever's new and culturally. So I think that the lab was the absolute perfect space for us to start at, and it was really what catapulted our business. Costa Mesa is just such a hub. You know, there's so much going on there, and there's just so many people from different walks of life. And I think you can kind of see it all blended well right there as an example, the lab showing that example of the culture and the community.
Yeah, and I think I had read that part of their mission too was the sustainability aspect, and like, you know, having like the low like water drought tolerant landscaping and everything too, like as part of their mission and how they developed. So yeah, it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. It's like a perfect combination for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I reached out to the property owners, and now having been working with them for how many years, they definitely have that mindset too of wanting to do sustainability. You notice that they have a lot of secondhand stores at the lab and at the camp, and just different things that definitely accompany sustainable living. So it is a good fit.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned like Costa Mesa as being hip and a
Mhm.
hub. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about, you know, the culture of Costa Mesa as you see it?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, having a business in Costa Mesa for the past 5 years has been so interesting to see Costa Mesa develop so rapidly recently. I feel like there's so many people coming to that area that, again, are artistic, just working people, young families, and then having like the Segerstrom art right up the street in Costa Mesa, having the mall, South Coast Plaza, which is such a big grab too. It's just such a buzzing community. There's a lot going on, and you're not directly on the ocean, so it's not cut off by that in a way, because there's just so much access in and out of Costa Mesa with the freeways linking up. So it's just so accessible for people coming from the outside coming in to visit for the day, or people who live there that can go to so many different places around, and it just be really easy to get around. So that's what I love about Costa Mesa, that is just so accessible, and there's just really a lot going on. So many different things, and so many little pockets of creativity and culture and community.
Yeah, definitely with the arts and everything, like you hit the nail on the head. And in the area where you're located for the business, I mean, they have added so much, you know, additional parking, and it's very walkable now. Like every time I go over there, I'm just amazed at how much more has come up along those like Randolph and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really grown in the last 5 years. You're totally right about that.
Yeah.
Are you from the area, or did you end up in Orange County from somewhere else?
I'm actually originally from Minnesota.
Okay.
I grew up in Minnesota, and I moved to California wanting to be a part of this lifestyle, more conscious, eco-friendly, honestly. And when I got here, I was pretty surprised that there wasn't a lot more going on as far as sustainability goes. But I'm not from the area, but I feel like I am. I've been here for 15 years, so it's been a long time.
Yeah. And so just to kind of recap a little bit on your business, if people are wanting to come by, what sort of things can they expect to find there or bring there to really help with the sustainability movement?
Yeah, so what's great about our shop is the first time you come, you don't necessarily have to prepare in any way because we have a couple different options for you when you come in the store. You can buy containers from us, or you could use containers that people donate. So we're kind of a little bit of a hub too, where people can be active in our stores. You can donate containers, and then people who come in that don't have a container could use those for free. So that's kind of fun. It's like a little community container bin. And essentially what you'll do is you'll take those containers, you'll weigh them. We'll obviously help you with the process so that you know how to get around the store. You weigh the container, and then we have these little RFID tags that record the weight of your container, and then you refill whatever product you want, whether it's hand soap, laundry soap. Laundry soap's our number one seller. So say you go over and you get some laundry soap from one of our big 55-gallon drums. You pour for yourself, or we help you, and then you bring it to checkout, and you are only charged for what's inside. Those RFID tags will record the weight of the container, and they'll deduct that. So then we charge you by the ounce. Other than that, for refilling products, we have all plastic-free and non-toxic products like dish brushes that are bamboo or wood, or we have hand soap, or we have body scrubs that are plastic-free, like a sisal fiber. We have non-toxic nail polish, non-toxic makeup. So it's really just an all-encompassing store that a lot of times people come in and they'll think, I didn't even think this was an option. Like, I didn't think that we had, an alternative to this, or an alternative or I didn't even think that this isn't a sustainable thing that I should be thinking about in a different way. For example, we have like bamboo toilet paper, and people probably don't realize that traditional toilet paper is pretty toxic, the way that it's produced, and also how it's packaged. Obviously, there's a lot of plastic on it. So you're kind of introduced to a lot of concepts in there, and a lot of times people come in and they feel a little bit overwhelmed the first time because there's a lot to look at. But as you get more and more comfortable with our store and the thought process behind sustainable living, you realize that it actually makes your life a lot easier and a lot more streamlined when you start to adopt some of these habits. So yeah, when you come to our store, just expect to see a smiling face. Our team members are always so happy and helpful, and they're really passionate about sustainability. And then just expect to see some big bulk containers that you can refill from, and lots of plastic-free awesome goodness that is also locally sourced. We really like to focus on local makers, local vendors, so that our products aren't traveling all across the world to get to you. They're just traveling across the county or across the state.
Yeah, really kind of reducing that carbon footprint and everything, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for bringing more of this concept into Orange County, Costa Mesa, and now even, surrounding areas of Southern California. It's such a positive movement. And where can people find you online if they want more information?
Yeah, and to that, I was so surprised, just to make one comment about it.
Yeah.
I was in the store not too long ago, and I had somebody come in and they said, "Oh, I just moved to Costa Mesa, and your store is one of the reasons I decided to move here." And I was so surprised by that, because they wanted to be accessible to walk to us. So it's just really fun to hear that, people are looking and seeking these kinds of things, and they're making decisions based off of that. So that's kind of fun. But as far as online goes, we're at www.econowca, which is for California, .com. And you can find our online store there where you can buy things to ship if you want it. If you're more of a person that likes to do pickup or shipping, we also offer delivery. But another thing about our business is we have a lot of events, and on there you will see that we have an upcoming event. It's a candle making workshop at the Lab Anti-Mall at our Costa Mesa shop, and it's going to be right before Valentine's Day, so it's a great Valentine's date event. And that's what you'll find on our website too, is just events, things that we're up to. We have some services like recycling services within our store, so you can recycle certain things with us that you might not be able to curbside recycle, and fun things like that on our website. So you can find us there.
Amazing. Well, Thea, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye now.